Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're cracking open a really ancient text, one that honestly pushes back against pretty much everything we assume today about, success and value.
Yeah, we're diving into the Thirumanthiram, a cornerstone of Shaiva Siddhanta.
And specifically just one verse, verse 168 from the first Tantra. It gives this, radical view on wealth and how fleeting it is.
It's incredibly dense, this verse. And our goal here, it isn't just like academic study. We want to pull out a workable map from it.
A map for what, exactly?
Well, this verse first takes apart our usual ideas of value, of wealth, but then crucially, it learned out specific yogic methods, practices for achieving inner freedom.
Okay.
A way to maybe transcend the mortality that kind of defines our lives.
Right, so let's start with that core idea, maybe the biggest surprise here.
Yeah.
What if wealth, in this context, isn't about money?
Yeah.
Not your stocks or your house?
Exactly. What if it's about, say, your physical energy, your mental focus, even like your soul's tranquility?
That's where we need to begin, isn't it?
Yeah.
The text uses this specific term, sampathikal.
That's right, sampathikal. And the definition is huge. It means all possessions connected to the life force itself, the 𝐴. Think of it as the entire inner economy of a person.
An inner economy.
Yeah.
Okay, so break that down for us. What are the main assets in this internal portfolio, according to the Thirumanthiram?
Well, there are 4 key ones highlighted. First, the mind's inherent strength, your ability to concentrate.
Focus.
Second, the power of your intellect, your thinking capacity, its sharpness.
Okay, mental horsepower.
Third, pretty straightforward, the health and vitality of your physical body.
Right.
But the fourth one is maybe the most refined. It's the serene unity, this harmony that happens when your body, your life force, and your mind find their center, centered in the peace of the soul.
Wow, that's quite an inventory. It's basically the sum total of everything internal that lets you live a full, functioning life.
Precisely.
But then comes the punchline. The text delivers this pretty brutal truth about all this wealth, this sampathikal, even the experiences you gain from it. Where does it all end up?
It's all destined to perish. The text is incredibly direct about this. No soft pedaling.
Yeah.
It says flat out that all this strength, all this collected experience from your life, it just fades with time. It disappears, quote, into the cremation ground.
Into the cremation ground. So every internal asset, no matter how carefully you cultivated it, it's temporary.
Completely temporary, perishable goods.
So let's look at the person before they grasp this, before this realization hits. What's their life like, according to the verse? The person invested in this perishable wealth.
The state described as one of, constant motion but no direction. A sort of wandering.
Wandering?
Yeah, driven by chasing sensations, external things, attachments. Always looking outside for fulfillment, for peace, but, never finding it.
Comes familiar.
Right. And because they mistake this temporary stuff for what's real and lasting, they're stuck. Wrapped up in fear, anxiety, suffering. It's a cycle.
It really does sound like a description of, modern anxiety or burnout.
Yeah.
This endless chasing, scrolling, optimizing, hoping if we just fix the outside stuff, the job, the image, we'll feel secure inside.
That's exactly the trap the verse points to. We pour our 𝐴, our vital energy, into trying to prop up things that are fundamentally unstable, impermanent.
And the result?
The result is that when death comes, the person meets it without true greatness. They just dissolve back into illusion, into Maya. The text basically says, you wasted your most precious asset, your life force, on things that vanish.
That's a stark picture. It really explains that underlying feeling of, franticness we often have. But okay, the verse isn't just doom and gloom, right? It offers a way out of this suffering.
Yes, absolutely. There's a clear turning point described.
How do you make that shift? From the wandering, anxious state to what the text calls buddhi the levu? Clarity of wisdom.
The key shift is moving past just knowing it in your head. It's not enough to just say, yeah, I know I'm going to die someday. Right. You have to deeply, truly realize the impermanence of your body, yes, but also your thoughts, your feelings, all the experiences they generate. Internalizing that truth, that's what triggers buddhi the levu. Instantly.
Instantly awakens clarity of wisdom.
Yeah.
And the benefit is huge, isn't it? The mind that sees this truth is liberated from the prison of thoughts.
Exactly. Imagine that. Freedom from the endless chatter, the worry, the planning.
It sounds like trading, a mountain of debt for sudden infinite wealth. So what is this better wealth? What does the liberated mind actually merge with?
You nailed the analogy. It's an asset swap. The liberated mind stops clinging to the temporary and merges into the steady flow of the life force itself, and it unites with something far more valuable, 𝐓𝐴𝐬𝐲𝐫𝐢𝐲,
𝐓𝐴𝐬𝐲𝐫𝐢𝐲, meaning?
the wealth of divine intelligence,
Yeah.
pure consciousness, awareness itself.
Ah, okay. So you trade the fleeting operational wealth, the thoughts, anxieties, even physical ups and downs, for the permanent foundational wealth of pure awareness.
That's the exchange. Trading the perishable, which breeds anxiety, for the imperishable, which is stability. It's eternal.
Okay, this is leading us to one of the most maybe startling claims in the text. This realization, this merger, it apparently causes a massive transformation, physically and spiritually. What does the text say happens to the actual earthly body?
This is where it gets pretty profound. The text states the physical body transforms into a noodle,
A golden body.
a golden body. And look, within yogic science, this isn't usually taken as just like a nice metaphor. It suggests a real refinement. The body becomes so purified its actual density changes. It moves beyond its normal elemental limits.
So like a state of peak, almost immortal-seeming health and radiance.
That's the implication. A radical transformation.
And this new state, this golden body, where does it get stabilized? What's its anchor point?
It's anchored, stabilized in the luminous consciousness of the Ajna chakra.
The third eye.
The third eye, exactly, which the text specifically calls the wheel of knowledge. That becomes the command center, the place of unwavering clarity, unchanging awareness.
Okay, now we have to talk about how, the mechanics. Because this isn't just something that happens to you, right? The source gives a specific meditative path.
Absolutely. It's not passive attainment. There's a technique involved.
So what's the engine room for this transformation? Where does the work happen?
The powerhouse is the Manipura chakra, the solar plexus.
The solar plexus. Okay. How does that connect to the ajna, the third eye?
Good question. The realization, the activation of that stable awareness you need for the golden body and the ajna stability, it's gained through deep meditation focused on the Manipura.
But why there? What's special about the solar plexus?
Well, symbolically, the Manipura is represented as the Sudarshana chakra of Vishnu. You know, that dynamic, powerful, spinning disc.
Right, the weapon that always hits its mark.
Exactly. And meditating on that symbol, on that center, grants the practitioner the power of steadfast awareness. Ajna gives the vision, the clarity, but Manipura provides the sustained energy, the unwavering focus, the stability needed to hold that state.
Yeah.
Especially against, life's distractions.
I see. So ajna is the knowing. Manipura is the holding of that knowing, the power source.
You could say that. It provides the dynamic stability.
And this focused energy, this stability, it leads to another fundamental shift, doesn't it, in the elements, how the life force itself moves.
Yes, a huge shift. See, when we're stuck in that wandering state, lost in attachments.
The default state for most of us, maybe?
Perhaps. In that state, our life force, our prana, it operates mainly within the elements of earth and water.
Earth and water.
And the text identifies these elements specifically as the planes of karma.
Planes of karma, meaning?
The realm of, dense materiality, cause and effect, action and reaction, where everything we do kind of binds us further into that cycle of impermanence. Yeah. Physical actions, emotional currents. That's earth and water.
So being stuck in earth and water is being stuck in the consequences, the weight of past actions and fluctuating emotions.
That's a good way to put it. But the liberated life force, it breaks free from that. It transcends earth and water and gets established in the element of fire, Agni.
Fire? Why fire?
Fire is transformative, purifying. It moves upwards. Unlike earth, which is dense, or water, which flows down or pools, fire refines and ascends.
So this inner fire becomes like a protective shield.
Yeah.
Against the very suffering we started talking about.
Exactly that. The text talks about the inner radiance of the sacred Agni within. This internal fire, this refined energy, acts as a purifier.
And what does it purify us from?
It prevents the darkness of the mumalam from getting close.
Mumalam, the three impurities.
That's right. Traditionally understood as ego, anava, karma, and illusion, maya. These are the things that cloud our perception and keep us bound. The inner fire burns them away, or at least keeps them at bay.
So you become impervious to the things that used to trap your mind in that prison of thoughts.
That's the idea. Purified by the inner fire.
And this whole journey, starting from realizing the impermanence of our inner wealth, moving through wisdom, transformation, stabilization, elemental shift, purification. Where does Sage Thirumanthiram say, this ultimately leads? What's the final goal?
The final destination, the supreme goal affirmed by the sage, is the birthless and deathless state of divine realization.
Birthless and deathless.
Having successfully made that asset swap, gained the clarity, stabilized the golden body, established oneself in fire, The individual has basically used the temporary tools, the body and mind, to achieve a state of consciousness that is totally beyond them, beyond birth, beyond death, imperishable.
It's an incredibly detailed map from the fear of everything turning to dust all the way to this radiant, unchanging state.
Absolutely.
So just to try and synthesize this for everyone listening, the core message seems to be real wealth isn't external or even just internal capabilities. It's the deep clarity, this buddhi dilivu.
Right, and you don't stumble into it. It comes from facing head-on the reality of impermanence. Yours, mine, everything's.
And then engaging in specific practices like the chakra meditation mentioned to stabilize your awareness, harness that inner fire, and shift your whole being towards purity.
It really is a profound manual, how to transform that everyday suffering and anxiety into something vast, like universal consciousness. And the verse ends with this beautiful outward-facing blessing, doesn't it?
It does. May the world live. May prosperity and virtue flourish eternally, extending that inner peace outward.
A lovely conclusion.
Truly powerful. Okay, before we wrap up, we always like to leave you, the listener, with something to think about. A final thought building on this.
So if we accept the premise that our fear of death, our anxieties stem largely from being attached to this temporary wealth of body and mind, then the question for you is, what specific possession in your own life, maybe it's an old resentment you hold on to, maybe a specific hope for the future you cling to, maybe even a past achievement you identify, with what specific thing is currently acting like the bars on that prison of thoughts for you?
What attachment is keeping your mind locked? Something to mull over as you think about your own inner assets, perishable and imperishable.